say to me in Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again for another How to Play video, and today I'm very excited to teach you how to play Venn from Op Games. This is for 2 or more players. Take it 20 to 30 minutes to play. It's for ages 10 plus. Now, there's 2 different ways to play the game. There's the competitive mode, and then there's the cooperative mode. So I'm going to teach you the competitive mode, then at the end of the video, I'll show you how to do the cooperative, but you need to sit through the whole thing to understand the cooperative. So the first thing you're going to do setting up in competitive mode is you're going to break up into 2 teams as even as you can. If one has slightly different numbers, not a huge deal. Next, you're going to put the numbered board right in the center in between the 2 Venn diagrams that you're going to create. One for this team, one for the other team. For camera space purposes, we're just going to be focusing on the one on the right side, though. Next, you're going to make sure that you have the 2 score tokens, the blue and the purple, right here. You're going to shuffle up all the 3 different types of cards, and the cards will have either words on them, or they will have numbers on them, or they will have just absolutely wacky pictures on them. Now, the wacky pictures, you're going to want to break up into 3 piles. Give 1/3 of the pile to one team, 1/3 of the pile to another team, and then 1/3 of the pile, put them in the middle where everyone can reach them when they need to. You're going to shuffle up the other 2 piles, place them down, and then you're going to place 4 word cards so that they line up with the numbers in the center. Now, whatever way you want to do it, on each team, you're going to decide who's going to be the first clue giver, and then the clue giver is secretly going to draw one of these cards with numbers on them. They're going to take a look at what numbers they have and figure out what words they have. So right now, this particular team would be trying to get the words great, number 6, gold, number 11, and surprising, number 2. And this is secret information, so only the clue giver should know that, and likewise, the other team should have 1 card, which is the clues that they're going to be giving. So now that the clue givers have their cards, they've seen their words, they have the secret words in their head, they're going to grab their stack of cards, they're going to say 3, 2, 1, go, and then the game is about to begin. And there are no turns in this game, it's fast, it's frantic, but what's going to happen is the clue giver is going to be looking through these cards, trying to find cards that will match the words that they were given at the beginning of the round. So the clue giver might get to this one and say, you know what, I think my team is going to connect the word gold with this. So they put that right here. And now this is the gold section of the Venn diagram. You know, and maybe the clue giver might think that this boxer is great, so this might be the great. So then what will happen is eventually they might find something that they thought was both great and gold, and then that would go into this section right here. And likewise, they might find something which was surprising, so it would go right here. And if they're ever lucky enough to find a card that matches all 3 of their words, they can place it right in the center to tell their team that this card matches all 3 of my words. Now, what can also happen is you can hear your team and they might be going off the beaten path. They might say, oh, this is dirty, or this is a crowd. Well, you can always replace a card by putting another card on top of it. However, you can never move any of the cards once they're placed. And your team cannot go back through the cards to see what old cards were. Now, eventually the clue giver might decide that all the cards they have are not going to be helpful, and they can grab the stack in the middle and put their stack into the middle. And that's always a choice that the clue giver has. But eventually what's going to happen is that the players that are not clue givers are going to decide, you know what, I think we know our words, or I think we are doing way better than the other team is doing, and then they're going to say, Venn! And that's when no more clues are to be given. And just to clarify, this entire time, those clue givers should not have said one single word, nothing at all. They are silent. However, the clue receivers should be talking all the time. And the more you talk as a clue receiver, the more help you're going to be to your clue giver. But once the clue receivers have yelled Venn, the team that yelled Venn first is going to guess their 3 words. They just guess them, and however many of those they get correct, they're going to get a point, and they will move on the point track like so. Also, if the team that called Venn gets all 3 of them correct, they can gain an additional bonus point, meaning they could potentially get 4 points. However, once they're done guessing, the other team will then have the opportunity to guess their secret words, and they can get up to 3 points if they get all 3 words correct, but they cannot get the bonus point. If anyone's reached 12 or more points, they immediately win the game. If there's a tie, the team that scored the most in the final round wins the game. However, if no one has reached 12 points, you put all the crazy picture cards back into a pile, break them up into thirds, put your used number cards onto the bottom of the deck, and likewise put all the old word cards on the bottom of that deck, or you could just flip them to their other side. Both teams decide who the next clue giver is, and then you continue the game just like last round. Now, if you'd like to play this as a cooperative game, you can play it for 2 or more players. You're only going to have 1 Venn diagram. Also, for this version of the game, you'll only need 5 of the numbered cards. The rest can go back into the box. Set out the words as normal. Decide who's going to be the first clue giver, and then get some sort of timer. You're going to need a 2-minute timer. The first clue giver is going to draw the top card. They're going to see what their words are, and when they're ready, they're going to start that 2-minute timer. And in this version of the game, you get all the clue cards. Now, in this particular game mode, the team cannot start guessing any of the words until at least 3 cards have been placed out onto the diagram. The round is going to end when the timer beeps or when the guessers call out Venn. After all 3 guesses are made, the clue giver reveals the number card, scoring 1 point per correct word. There is no bonus if you get all 3 of them correct, like in the competitive version. You gain however many points you gained, and you do that over 5 rounds, making sure to switch clue givers from round to round. If you can score 12 points by the end of 5 rounds, you win the game. But that's Venn. If this helped you out, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That helps me out a whole bunch. Also, consider subscribing as I teach new games all the time. But go have some fun, and thanks for your time, YouTube. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.